Every great magic trick consists of 3 acts. The first act is called the pledge. The magician shows you something ordinary, but of course, it probably isn't. The second act is called the turn. The magician makes this ordinary something do the extraordinary. Now you're looking for the secret, but you won't find it.
What did you do?
That's why there's a third act called the prestige. This is the part with the twists and the turns, where lives hang in a balance. And you see something shocking that you've never seen before.
What do you want to be when you grow up?
While there are many different answers to this question, a survey of 500 children revealed that of the boys surveyed, the most popular future dream jobs were ones that promised fame, fortune, and the ability to help, whether that was becoming a famous athlete or transforming into a superhero. Unfortunately, as we grow older, we learn that we probably won't develop superpowers or get the feeling of winning gold at the Olympics. But the dream is not lost in entirety. I may not be able to be an actual superhero, but I can look like one, you tell yourself. Or maybe you've had enough in the way you feel, in the way in which you are treated, which would almost certainly be different if you look like some of these people. So what do they look like? After a quick search on Google, you get a clear image. The vast majority all seem to have incredible strength, muscle, and low body fat. And it's almost like there's a more impressive transformation year after year. Desperate to find their secrets, you have fitness companies studying them, entire careers devoted to discovering their formulas to success.
Alright guys, I want to talk about the truth about Zac Efron's physique in Baywatch.
People have even settled on mathematical proportions which you need to reach if you want to resemble many of these popular celebrities. Known as the golden ratio physique, these ideal proportions suggest that the optimal stats for someone who is 5'10" requires a 32-inch waist, 52-inch shoulders, along with 16-inch biceps. Of course, getting into impressive shape like this would take most people a decade to achieve, and many of these celebrities are getting close in less than a year. So, how do they do it?
Chicken, steamed vegetables, and occasionally some brown rice or something like that.
Brown rice, grilled chicken, broccoli, a gallon and a half of water a day, and working out 2 to 3 times a day, 6 days a week.
It was about 9 months of chicken breast and broccoli.
I worked out 6 hours a day, every day, for the last 20 years straight.
Chicken, loads of chicken, like these just bland, naked pieces of chicken and rice and
If there's one thing all these celebrities have in common, that is the brutal nature of their training routines, with many claiming to train 3 hours per day, 6 days per week, while only eating chicken, broccoli and rice. There's no doubt that they are working hard.
I was eating so much chicken breast that the hardest part about it was actually chewing it all. So I would just put it into a blender, blend it all up, and just drink chicken.
Although others are quick to point out that they have the best trainers in the world, personal chefs, and get paid to work out. However, if you actually listen to how these actors say they got in shape, it's often pretty basic stuff.
One of our first days of training, he was like, all right, 200 pull-ups, 200 push-ups, and you're done. And then he just walked out.
And their workouts seem to be filled with exercises that were randomly put together. But perhaps these trainers who have these celebrities doing all these unconventional, insanely intense workouts which go against all scientific literature know something we don't, because many of these stars are gaining muscle at an unnatural rate, all the while handling their other commitments, and they never seem to get injured despite training intensely while eating a diet deficient in many vital nutrients, with many actors also being past the peak age for muscle building. Sure, it would be easy to claim steroids at this point, as many people do, but where's the solid proof? Would it not be harsh to discredit their hard work, strict diet, and world-class coaching? Besides, many of them have been working out their entire lives, and you cannot ignore the role that muscle memory plays in many of these transformations. Some people are just genetically more muscular than others. For example, they may just have the so-called Hercules gene, which allows anyone with it to naturally hold a lot more muscle. So just because someone can gain muscle a lot more easily than you, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're taking anything. And let's also not forget that the very same technology which is being used to make these people look skinnier, could also be used to make them look bigger in films. What you could be seeing may be enhanced by CGI. So, is that it? Strict diet, extreme training, amazing genetics, and the incentive of a massive paycheck? Surely there's something more. I mean, you may have tried to follow this advice before and have never come close to them. Could these people have another trick up their sleeve? What would you do for $15 million? Would you work out for 9 months with the help of world-class trainers? Would you sign a contract promising to keep this process confidential? Now, how about take a supplement which enables you to gain more muscle, recover faster, and drop body fat more quickly? Now, what if that supplement just happened to be a performance-enhancing drug? Of course, these will be provided to you by top doctors, which will monitor you the entire time to help you avoid any side effects. Just think how much you can help your family and friends with that kind of money. But remember, that contract you signed and the fact that PEDs are technically illegal means you cannot tell anyone what you've been doing. And if you don't want to take them, no chance to play the superhero, no generational wealth, no celebrity lifestyle. When literally everyone around you benefits, why would you not take PEDs in this situation? You see, contrary to the general public perception, performance-enhancing drugs are not used exclusively by giant bodybuilders. They can be used to boost your strength, recovery, and speed. But perhaps most commonly, can be used to gain a more natural-looking physique. And their popularity is clearly rising exponentially. In a 2004 study, 1 in 25 high school students self-reported taking anabolic steroids. Zoom forwards to today, and it's predicted that as many as 1 in 6 people that you see in your gym are on or have tried anabolic steroids. And with more compounds becoming readily available to easily purchase over the internet, performance-enhancing drugs are becoming more and more prevalent in society.
UK, and you get 4 million results, and it's so easy to buy. I don't even know what I'm buying, and I can buy it. I can just click add to cart, and there you go, steroids.
So my question is, if you have your average Joe taking them just to look better, why would someone whose career depends on them looking a certain way not take them? While this rise in usage within Hollywood cannot be proven, if you compare what was considered a good action star physique in the 1950s, when PEDs were not as common as they are today, you can see just how much more insane these transformations have become. What was considered incredibly good shape a few decades ago is considered as nothing impressive today. Surely advances in diet and exercise alone cannot be responsible for changes as drastic as these. But still, none of this is proof that any of them are taking anything. In theory, it seems reasonable to assume that they're extremely common, especially in an industry notorious for substance abuse and shady activities. But what are some actual red flags to look out for? While these signs do not conclude steroid use, when many coexist together, you should start to get suspicious. These red flags include gyno, hair loss, overdeveloped shoulders and traps, acne, and abnormal vascularity. And then you have the more obvious, such as gaining abnormal amounts of muscle in a short time period. Gaining muscle unusually quickly at an older age. Making crazy progress while on a poor diet and training plan.
So just training constantly, eating just chicken breast, broccoli, and that is it.
Yeah.
So he makes pretty clear that chicken breast and broccoli is the diet model, and he did that for 9 months. So we're looking at about 1,318 calories, and we're looking at a deficiency in almost all areas.
While I'm not going to call anyone out directly, many of these actors do display many of these red flags. Even though a lot of them are probably natural, it's highly unlikely that every single actor has outright refused some assistance, especially given the pressure they're under. If you wanted to see an analysis of whether a particular transformation was natural or not, there are plenty of videos which explore this, and this begs the question, why do people even care? While I'm well aware that these stars probably inspire millions to get into better shape and probably have a net positive effect, there is a flip side to the coin. When the people many look up to achieve unnaturally impressive transformations, this becomes the standard at which people believe is naturally achievable if you just follow their exact routine. Of course, until these fans, despite the best efforts, do not achieve anywhere near the same results, which can be very demotivating at the very least. But unrealistic body expectations come with many dangers. While these transformations look extremely desirable, what you don't see are the mental consequences that such unsustainable routines have on the actors.
Is there a lot of pressure to keep up?
Yeah, the answer is yes. It's tough reading those comic books because in the comic books he's like 6'4", 240 or something. He's a huge animal. I'm nowhere near that.
Audiences expect you to look like a superhero now.
I think there is a slight body dysmorphia that you get, you know, after training so hard.
Yeah.
And these are people who can afford the best of everything and are supported the entire way. Imagine the potential negative effects that following these routines has on young kids. These actors may look healthy, but the things which they're doing are far from it.
So when I got to Orange is the New Black for the first shirtless scene, I definitely did some unhealthy crash dieting. And being in TV long enough, I'll tell you this is something that almost all actors and actresses do for these shirtless scenes.
In a similar way to which runway models were glorified along with their ridiculous lifestyles. Whether intentionally or not, Hollywood seems to be glorifying a lifestyle of secretive PEDs, unsustainable diets and overtraining. And when the fans realise that they'll never look like their favourite stars, a lot of them end up developing eating disorders, resort to Photoshop or performance enhancing drugs. You only have to use social media for a few minutes to discover just how prevalent these things are.
Let's get some health news now. A new report has found that steroid use is at a record high, and it's not just professional athletes abusing these drugs. New data suggests body-enhancing drugs are being used in local footy clubs and suburban gyms that are now more common than the use of party drugs.
And to top it all off, capitalising on the mystique behind the celebrity body transformations, popular fitness companies invent workouts that the stars almost certainly did not do. Supplement companies start rumours that their products were responsible for such impressive results, and fitness gurus weigh in on how we too can replicate these transformations if we just buy their programmed supplements and equipment. So as the amount of people with eating disorders rise, social media becomes more fake, and PED use becomes more common, I would say the negative consequences of Hollywood body transformations are quite substantial. Performance-enhancing drugs are probably extremely common in Hollywood, and I completely understand why. Actors are required to transform their bodies within months, and there's just so much money on the line for everyone involved. The trouble is, at least at this point in time, there's zero transparency, which of course comes with many consequences. And when anyone even tries to bring them up, they're labelled as jealous, so it's not something which is even going to be spoken about. I think most people are okay with superhero level physiques being viewed as ideal or necessary for certain roles. The problem is the lack of openness about the reality of obtaining a physique like this, and that is what reinforces unrealistic standards, creating an array of problems. I don't see any ethical issues with actors choosing to crash diet or choosing to take enhancements. The issues arise when magazines and supplement companies then use these unrealistic body transformations to sell a useless product or dream to the general public. The one thing which these actors are definitely not covering up is the fact that all of these transformations took a lot of hard work, and they all succeeded with their fitness goals because their reason for getting in shape was strong enough. And this is actually a good takeaway. Whether or not your favourite actor used enhancements shouldn't matter. You shouldn't be comparing yourself to Hollywood actors. If you optimise your diet, recovery, training and hydration, and have a strong enough reason to transform your body, you'll be able to make impressive improvements. Just don't go looking for genuine fitness advice in an industry built on shady activities and illusions. The only thing that matters in Hollywood is entertainment, no matter the cost. As with all magic, you want to be fooled. Sometimes it's best to not look behind the curtains.
No more secrets.
Secrets of my life.